I'm just sorry to Sooner Nation that we weren't ready. And I can promise you we'll look in the mirror, me first. And, I really thought after that second quarter, I thought we really would start kind of getting it going. And then we've got to come back. We've got to come out better, and we've got to come out of halftime better. So clearly got a lot to work on. But you got to credit Baylor, too. I thought they adjusted. It was a game with a lot of stop and play, and there wasn't a lot of flow to the game. It wasn't a beautiful basketball game for women's basketball. There were a lot of fouls, a lot of free throws. And they adjusted a heck of a lot better to that than we did.
How tough was it for you guys, just given the flow? Like you said, there wasn't much flow to the game.
Yeah. No, I think that was the difference in the game, to be honest. Now, you can't blame one person. They were fine. So for us, we needed to do a lot better job. I thought we were a little hesitant because it wasn't exactly what we wanted, and we just needed to be able to adjust a little bit better. But yeah, it's always hard when you have people in foul trouble. Having Maddie in foul trouble is hard. And at the same time, I think we have enough experience and enough depth that we could have done some things. And I'm disappointed in the first quarter that we didn't defend better. It's also really hard to defend when you turn it over and give them free points. So that's something that we've got to really continue to focus on.
You never got into, you had to play man the whole first quarter, right? That's what she was, the Baylor coach was talking about. You never really got into a defensive flow because the way the first quarter went.
Well, that was also our decision to do that, to man, and we actually do that most games. Yeah, I don't think it was necessarily whether or not we got to go make miss. I think it was we had to get over that we missed a layup because we would miss another one because we missed the last one, and that, and then we'd get frustrated. You could see our body language wasn't great in terms of when fouls were called or things like that. And so we just have to respond better. And we've talked a lot about responding. And I think normally we're really good when adversity hits us, or we create our own adversity. We do a pretty good job of being able to stop that and go forward. And tonight we just didn't do that.
The way the game's called, I know they lost players too, but you lose Williams, who does so many things for you. How much did that affect Oklahoma?
Well, I don't know if I can necessarily answer that. Obviously we want Maddie to play, but she's played, 25 minutes in a lot of games, so we should be able to figure it out. But yeah, you don't want Liz to play 11 minutes and foul out either. And we didn't. It's not just about making shots or missing shots. It's just about the overall movement that we didn't have. So yes, it's hard, but you still have to be able to adjust. That's going to happen. It's basketball. Like that happens at every team. And we could have been better.
Jennie, you touched on it there a little bit in that answer, but the turnovers in that first quarter, and also the fact that Baylor took advantage of so many of them to put points on the board. What stood out to you about that specific area of the first?
Well, I felt like we just weren't aggressive. I feel like we didn't have our player movement, which then led to lack of ball movement, which then led to we wait a second and then we pass it, and they're fast and they're going to get that. They're a good team. So if we could just have moved the ball faster, then in the second quarter you could see that we did that. And so that's where, that's what we do. We've got to just do a better job. It got stuck a lot. And again, you got to credit some of that, some of that's with Baylor. I think a lot of that was us and just not wanting to make passes. And then I think the other part is, we really looked a lot at East and West. We needed to go in the paint and we didn't. And I think, obviously the first play of the game was a charge, and so maybe that deterred us from going back in there. I don't know. But I know we have more experience and we're better than that. We've got to go towards the paint a little bit more.
On sort of following up with that, what do you attribute that the ball not moving, the player movement not happening that early?
Yeah, you can just look at prior games and our ball movement compared to tonight, and it's really different. When we're not moving the ball, we're really good when we're moving the ball, and obviously we don't have very many assists when we're not moving the ball. I think that hurt us a lot tonight. We're a big assist team, How many assists did we have? 13. That's not how we play. And so I think that came with ball movement, a lack of ball movement as well.
Ana, did that seem like an energy thing? Did it seem like so many whistles we can't get going, or just whatever? Why do you think you didn't have the flow?
I don't think it was necessarily energy. I thought our energy was good when we were warming up and everything. I think maybe maybe a lack of focus. Maybe I think we were kind of wimpy when it came to like the fouls being called on us, and we had a lot of people, me including. I got the ball ripped out of my hands a couple of times, and that's not us. And so when we're constantly playing like that, that's going to be the outcome of the game.
Am I hearing that you played cautiously because it seemed like fouls were being called so often?
I mean, you could look at a bunch of different things. It was fouls. It was. I just think that we reacted to everything instead of moving on and moving forward. Or we work on not reacting so much to everything, and everything affected us tonight.
And Ana, for you, a second straight big scoring game for you over these last couple. What's clicking for you more? Is it where you are physically? Is it something else?
I don't necessarily think it's just physically. I've been physically fine for a while. I just think that I think I've been more aggressive. I had been cautious in the past games, and I am trying to take that out of my game because it's not how I play, and not how I've played in the past. So I'm taking that out and just playing hard.
And then Jennie, the same thing for you. What have you seen out of Ana in that regard over these last couple that's different from those first 11?
I mean, I think it's time. I mean, a lot of times this stuff just takes time. I mean, she's playing with the brace. She's got to get used to. She's playing, with the team, and she's just, getting back, I think, into her rhythm. And, we want everything yesterday, and I think from that standpoint, I mean, you're coming up on a year anniversary of the actual surgery. Mm-hmm. And so from that standpoint, we kind of forget that because she's kind of been back since July. And so I think it takes time, but she's good. So I don't think there's any secret sauce. I think she's putting the work in, and she's just good.
Jennie, I fully understand if you don't think you can answer this question, but was the game played a certain way and therefore called as it was called, or was it called as it was called, and then that was the game we watched? Did the whistles dictate the game, or did the way the two teams were playing dictate the whistles?
Yeah, that's a hard one to answer how I want to answer. And I don't mean that because I'll get a violation. No, I don't mean that because I'll be fined. I mean that because I put so much on our team and our response that should not matter. And there were times where we would get a stop and not the freaking ball. And there's no whistle. They got it and they put it back. And then back momentum's their way. Even managing the end of the quarter. We know how to do that, and we didn't do that. Even, we would be there, we'd be on that rotation, and then she'd already shoot the shot, and then we'd foul. So, don't make officials make those decisions. We don't have to do that. I mean, how many times was it everybody's up, and our fans are great, and we were great, and we just need to stop, and then we'd foul. Right? Or they'd get a second chance. And so those are the ones. Or we'd get it to the rim and we have a potential for an and one and we miss it and then we go 1 for 2. So we had a lot of those opportunities tonight that we're going to look back. It's going to be a really hard film to watch. So it was dictated probably because we forced a lot of stop and play that we didn't have to. Or we forced a lot of take it out of bounds, let them set up their press, slow us down, then we go. I feel like we did not do a great job of getting the outlets that we want. We had 19 fast break points in that game. You wouldn't have guessed that, would you?
No, I wouldn't.
No.
In a million years.
But when we play, think about if we could just dictate the tempo that we want to dictate, we have to understand it's not always your fast break point, it's in your half court too. Our up-tempo style isn't just in a full court setting and then we're toast. That's what we've been working on. That's what we've been getting better at, and tonight we didn't. And so, yeah, you can credit the officials, you can credit Baylor, you can credit whoever you want, but it doesn't matter. We still have to take control of that because we're capable of doing that, and we just didn't do that.
For more information, you can visit TulsaWorld.com.